قال المصنف رحمه الله, said the author, may Allah have mercy upon him. وهيئاتها أربع, its forms, its hayat, characteristics are four. That's Abu Shuja''s count. He didn't say only four. الغسل وتنظيف الجسد ولبس الثياب البيض وأخذ الظفر والطيب. Bathing, taking a ghusl. Cleaning the body, like using soap. The ghusl doesn't require soap. Doesn't have anything to do with soap. It's running water over the body with an intention. But using soap or the likes of soap for this Jumu'ah is recommended. وَلُبْسُ الثِّيَابِ الْبِيضِ, and wearing white clothing. وَأَخْذُ الظُّفْرِ وَالطِّيبِ, and clipping the nails and perfuming. وَأَخْذُ الظُّفْرِ وَالطِّيبِ, and clipping the nails and perfuming, wearing perfume. You're going to clip the nails if they got long, and when it comes to the perfume, meaning fragrance, oils, then it's recommended to use the best that you have. And take note that this clipping the nails and putting on perfume, it does not apply to a muhrim, as long as he didn't do tahallul, as long as he's still in his ihram completely, he can't clip his nails or put on perfume. I'm saying perfume, but I mean fragrance. Ash-sharh, the explanation. السنة لمن أراد الجمعة أن يغتسل لها. The prophetic way for anyone who wants to go to Jumu'ah is to bathe for it, for that occasion, before going, of course. ذكرا كان أو أنثى حرا أو عبدا مقيما أو مسافرا. And that's whether this Jumu'ah is obligatory on you or not. So that's going to include this Jumu'ah, ghusl, is going to include the male and the female, and the free and the slave, and the resident, and the traveler. All of those, it's recommended for them if they want to go to Jumu'ah to bathe for that. وَيُكْرَهُ تَرْكُهُ فِي أَصَحِّ الْوَجْهَيْنِ, and it is repugnant to leave out, yani it is disliked to leave out this Friday bath or shower, according to the most accurate of two ways. وَفِي الصَّحِيحَيْنِ, it was documented in the two authentic books. إِذَا أَتَى أَحَدُكُمُ الْجُمُعَةِ, if one of you went to Jumu'ah, فَلْيَغْتَسِلْ, let him make ghusl. وَفِي الصَّحِيحَيْنِ أَيْضًا, and also documented in the two authentic books, is حق على كل مسلم أن يغتسل في كل 7 أيام يوما. A Muslim should bathe at least once a day every 7 days. That's Friday. زاد النسائي وهو يوم الجمعة. النسائي added what I just added right now. وهو يوم الجمعة, meaning, and Nasa'i narrated that hadith with an additional statement, which is وهو يوم الجمعة, which is Friday. ووقت غسل الجمعة من الفجر الثاني. The time for the Friday bath is, starts at dawn, the second dawn, which is the true dawn, the light across the horizon, not a light that goes up straight into the air. وَتَقْرِيبُهُ مِنْ ذَهَابِهِ أَفْضَلُ, and delaying it to, as much as you can before going to Jumu'ah. So just waiting and waiting till the last minute, basically, without being late for Jumu'ah or anything. But whenever you're going to leave, if you need to leave in the morning, then you can't wait more than that. If you're going to leave in the, a little later in the morning, but before Jumu'ah, then delay like that. فَإِنْ عَجَزَ عَنِ الْغُسْلِ, and if one were unable to bathe for Jumu'ah, يَتَيَمَّمُ بِنِيَّةِ الْغُسْلِ لِلْجُمُعَةِ, then he makes tayammum with the intention of replacing that Friday bath with this tayammum. Now, saying right here he makes tayammum, that's just a fundamental rule there. There's details there. The details here are going to go back to the chapter of tayammum that breaks into so many details. So we're not going to go there. We're not going to turn this into a tayammum lesson, but I just want to remind you. When he says, فَإِنْ عَجَزَ عَنِ الْغُسْلِ يَتَيَمَّمُ بِنِيَّةِ الْغُسْلِ لِلْجُمُعَةِ, if he's unable to bathe, then he makes tayammum. Sometimes you make tayammum in a land that usually has water, so you're going to have to make it up, even though you prayed it. وَمِنَ السُنَّةِ تَنْظِيفُ الْجَسَدِ بِإِزَالَةِ الرِّيحِ الْكَرِيهِ, and amongst the prophetic way is cleaning the body by removing the body odor, minhu kasinan, فيتعاطى ما يزيله من مرتك ونحوه. So one would remove the body odor. Here, kasinan, I don't remember if that's the smell of the armpits. I don't remember if that's the smell of the armpits or what. So one should use what removes this body odor. Like soap, for example. Also, if a person's a muhrim, then if he uses soap, he has to be mindful that it's not scented. The muhrim can't use scented soap because that's perfuming. وَمِنَ السُنَّةِ أَيْضًا أَنْ يَلْبَسَ مِنْ أَحْسَنِ ثِيَابِهِ, and amongst the prophetic way also is for one to wear the best of his clothing. وَيَتَطَيَّبْ, and to apply fragrance. لِقَوْلِهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ, because of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, مَنْ اغْتَسَلَ يَوْمَ الْجُمُعَةِ مَنْ اغْتَسَلَ يَوْمَ الْجُمُعَةِ, anyone who bathes on Friday. وَلَبِسَ مِنْ أَحْسَنِ ثِيَابِهِ, and he wears the best of his clothing. وَمَسَّ مِنْ طِيبِ بَيْتِهِ, and he applies fragrance. إن كان عنده, if he has some. ثُمَّ أَتَى الْجُمُعَةِ, and then he went to Jumu'ah. فَلَمْ يَتَخَطَّ أَعْنَاقَ النَّاسِ, and then he did not step over the people's necks. That's a case that we learned it in obligatory knowledge from the sins of the foot. So review there if you want to review what the Prophet ﷺ is talking about, not stepping over their necks. ثُمَّ صَلَّى مَا كُتِبَ لَهُ, and then he prayed whatever Allah, then he prayed whatever was destined for him, before sitting down. And if he's doing that, that means that's the masjid, not musalla. He enters the masjid and then he prays before Friday. He does all of what the Prophet described here, and then he goes and he prays whatever was written for him. ثُمَّ أَنصَتَ إِذَا خَرَجَ إِمَامُهُ, and then he was attentive when his imam came out. حَتَّى يَفْرُغَ مِنْ صَلَاتِهِ, until he finishes his prayer. كانت كفارة لما بينها وبين جمعته التي قبلها, then that is an expiation for what sins were between the current Friday prayer and the one before it. رواه ابن حبان في صحيحه. Ibn Hibban reported this in his authentic book. والحاكم, and also Al-Hakim did. وقال هو صحيح على شرط مسلم. He said that this hadith is authentic according to Muslim's condition. وَالْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الثِّيَابِ أَفْضَلُ. And the best clothing is the white clothing. وَكَمَا يُسْتَحَبُّ الْغُسْلُ وَالطِّيبُ يُسْتَحَبُّ إِزَالَةُ الظُّفْرِ وَالشَّعَرِ. And just like it is recommended to bathe and to apply fragrance, it is also recommended to remove the nails and hair. To remove nails and hair. وَالْمُسْتَحَبُّ إِزَالَتُهُمَا فَيَنْطِفُ إِبْطَهُ وَيَقُصُّ شَارِبَهُ. And it's so just as it is recommended to bathe and to apply fragrance, it is also recommended to remove nails and hair. The nails and hair, al-mustahabbu izalatuhuma, those nails and hairs that are recommended to remove in the first place. فَيَنْتِفُ إِبْطَهُ. So he should, the best is to pluck his armpit hair. That means pull it out by hand. وَيَقُصُّ شَارِبَهُ. And he trims his mustache so that the red of the lips will appear. If your mustache starts to grow over the edge of your lip, so it starts to cover some of the red flesh of your lip, then trim it so that it doesn't grow covering some of your lip like that. Growing over the edge. That's recommended. And some say to shave off the mustache altogether. وَكَمَا يُسْتَحَبُّ الْغُسْلُ وَالطِّيبُ. And just as it is recommended to bathe and to apply fragrance. يُسْتَحَبُّ إِزَالَةُ الظُّفْرِ وَالشَّعْرِ الْمُسْتَحَبِّ إِزَالَتُهُمَا. It is also recommended to remove the nails and hairs that are the type that's recommended to remove. فَيَنْتِفُ إِبْطَهُ. Therefore one would pluck his armpit hair. وَيَقُصُّ شَارِبَهُ. And he should trim his mustache. وَيَحْلِقُ عَانَتَهُ. And he shaves his pubic hair. وَالْحِكْمَةُ فِي الْغُسْلِ أَلَّا يَجِدَ الْجَلِيسُ مِنْ جَلِيسِهِ مَا يَكْرَهُ فَيَتَأَذَّى. And the wisdom behind bathing for the Friday prayer is so that a person who's sitting in the congregation would not be bothered by another person's body odor. قال العلماء, the scholars said, يُؤْخَذُ مِنْ هَذَا أَنَّ الْجَلِيسَ لَا يَتَعَاطَى مَا يَتَأَذَّى مِنْهُ جَلِيسُهُ. The scholars said, it is taken from this courtesy, that's the prophetic way, which is to bathe for the sake of a gathering. It is taken from this, that a person who sits next to someone else should not harm that one or bother that one. Min kalamin sayyi'in wa ghayrihi, whether that's by bad words or anything else. وَمَشْرُوعِيَّةَ الطِّيبِ حَتَّى يَجِدَ الْجَلِيسُ مِنْ جَلِيسِهِ مَا يَنْتَفِعُ بِهِ مِنْ طِيبِ الرَّائِحَةِ. And the point behind applying fragrance is so that the person who sits next to you would find a pleasant smell. وَحُسْنَ الثِّيَابِ لِأَجْلِ النَّظَرِ. And the point of wearing nice clothing is for the look. فَلَا يَجِدُ مَا يَتَأَذَّى بِهِ بَصَرُهُ, so that the other person would not find, or one himself here is not, فَلَا يَجِدُ مَا يَتَأَذَّى بِهِ بَصَرُهُ, so that one would not find, encounter, see that which bothers his sight. When he looks at him, when he sees him, he wouldn't be bothered by what he sees. It's like all of this is for the sake of the others. For the courtesy. All of that is for the courtesy of the others. It's a worship to Allah, it's a good deed, and it's a courtesy for the others in the congregation. Sallallahu wa sallam ala man shara'a lana hadha al-khair. May Allah raise the rank of the lawbringer who sanctioned for us all of this goodness. Wallahu a'lam. And that nice fragrance you're going to put on Friday, that's even for Ramadan. Even in Ramadan. Let's stop here.